So let's see how we can validate this form. You can see that if you leave this empty, you cannot click on the submit button. If you add something here and you select the months to repay, then this input is going to be enabled so we can click here. So let's see how this is going to be done. Let's open Studio Code. We're going to open the form component. And we're going to scroll right here in this input. So you can see we have input type submit. We're going to add some spaces right here. And we're gonna attach a function into this input. So we're going to add something like disable. And this is going to be true or false, but this is going to be tracked by this function. So we're gonna add this dot validate form. And then we're gonna copy this and we're gonna create this new method. So we're gonna add validate form, and this is going to be equals to an arrow function. So this is going to be, for example, validate form is going to be an event that is going to be added into this input. You can see here in the case of the select and also this input, we have this on change, and then we have this function. In this case, we're going to use the parentheses. So this is going to call this function. In the case of these ones, we are expecting the events that we have right here. In the case of this one, we are going to execute this function once the component is ready. So the main difference between this syntax and this syntax is that this is going to be called right away. In the case of this one is going to expect for the event. So let's save this and let me add, for example, a console log that says validate from validate form. And if you save this and open the project, let me open this in the console. So you can see we have from validate form. So this is going to execute the function right away. So you can remove this and you can see nothing is going to be displayed because this is not going to execute the function. So that's the main difference when you have something like this and when you have the parentheses. So let's see how you are going to validate this. We're gonna check that both fields have something. So in this case, if you remember, if you open React and then you open the component that is called form, you can see that we have the amount and we have the term. So we have this in the state. So right here we're gonna apply some structuring. So the structuring, and we're gonna add const, and we're going to add amount and the term, and this is coming from the state. Then we're gonna add a const not valid, and this is going to be equals to amount in case that amount doesn't exist or the term doesn't exist, something like this. You can console log not valid and you can check the current value. So for example, if you save this and open the console, you can see that we have true. So this true means that disable is going to be true. Then if you add something here, you can see that we have true. So again, it's going to be disabled. If you change something here, then you can see it's going to be false. So the disable is going to be false. So in order to apply this, right here, we need to return that value. So return the not valid, return not valid. Save this. And you can see nothing is going to change, but this is going to be disabled. And this is because we need to add some CSS. So you can see we have disabled right here. So let's add the CSS. Let me open the index CSS and I'm gonna target input type submit, and we're gonna select disable, and we're gonna add a background color. I'm gonna add an opacity. It's going to change the background color. So 0.5, and you can save this and open this, and now you can see it's going to be disabled like this with this appearance. Then if you fill the form and you select this, now you can see that we have the calculate button is going to be enabled, and the disable attribute is going to be removed from the DOM. So this is something really important. React is going to track always the values that you have in the state. So for example, if you open here the form, you can see the state. Once you start changing this, React is going to track every change that you make into your state. Before we finish, you can see that the amount and also the term are inside the quotes. So we need to add this inside, or they must be a number. So right here on the value, you can use number, the JavaScript function, to change this, because they are going to be strings, and this is going to convert this into numbers. So you can save this, and let me expand this here on the form. You can see we have the state, and if you add something, you can see we remove the quotes, and they are going to be numbers from now. So you can see that you can also apply any JavaScript function in React.